Hello. Today we're going to be talking about ALP and what if it's low. Here's a blood test marker that I think gets overlooked all the time. ALP, alkaline phosphatase. Here's the interesting bit. I'm not only interested when it's high, I'm also interested when it's sitting right down at the bottom of the range, because sometimes a low ALP can give us some really useful clues. So first of all, what is ALP? Alkaline phosphatase is an enzyme found in several tissues around the body, but particularly the liver, bile ducts, and the bone. So when ALP is elevated, we immediately start thinking about where it might be coming from. Is this liver, biliary, or bone? And that's where looking at ALP alongside other markers becomes very useful. For example, if your ALP and your gamma GT are both elevated, I'm going to be thinking much more carefully about the liver and the biliary system. But if your ALP is raised and gamma GT isn't, depending on the person and the clinical picture, I might start wondering where the bone could be contributing. That's the detective work. But let's flip it around. What if your ALP is low? This is the part I think is often missed. Someone might have an ALP sitting right at the bottom of the laboratory range, or even slightly below it. And because we're so conditioned to look for high liver enzymes, nobody pays much attention. But persistently low ALP can sometimes make me think about nutrient status, in particular zinc and magnesium, because these nutrients are important for the activity of alkaline phosphatase enzyme. I might also start thinking about overall nutrition and protein intake. So that makes us think about things like malabsorption. Could there be an intestinal issue affecting nutrient absorption? So things like leaky gut. Again, thinking about thyroid function. Are there other clues suggesting nutritional insufficiency? And suddenly, the supposedly boring liver marker has opened another door. There's another important connection. ALP is not just a liver marker, it's also involved in bone metabolism. So I'm particularly interested in ALP when I'm looking at someone's wider bone health picture. That might mean looking at vitamin D, calcium, phosphate, magnesium, and PTH, and considering bone density and the clinical history where appropriate. Again, one marker never gives us the diagnosis. There's also a rare but important exception. If ALP is persistently very low, particularly alongside things like unusual fractures, bone pain, dental problems, that definitely deserves further investigation. There is a rare condition called hypophosphatasia associated with low alkaline phosphatase activity. So we shouldn't automatically assume that low ALP means zinc deficiency and take some zinc. Again, the context matters. And this is exactly why I love looking at blood tests in this way. So instead of simply scanning down the page, looking for the red flags and ignoring everything else, I want to know, where is the result within the range? Has it changed over time? What are the other markers doing? And most importantly, does it make sense in the context of this person? So next time you pull out your blood results, find your ALP, don't just ask whether it's high, have a look at whether it might actually be low, because sometimes it's the numbers that aren't highlighted in red that give us the most interesting clues.